Today's talk is on the subject of what our spiritual masters, spiritual teachers like. What are they like as people? What are they like to be around? Are they nice all the time? No. So I've been around quite a bit and I've met many different teachers. So I'll tell you a few stories that I've experienced myself and one or two that I've heard. Perhaps the first spiritual master I met was a gentleman called Dr. Gopal Ananda. That's a Sanskrit name. In English, it means Doctor Very Much Bliss. And I was on a train from Delhi to Trivandrum with him for 3 days. It's a 65-hour train journey, long before the internet and iPhones, when you had to talk to people. It was wonderful. Anyway, everywhere Dr. Gopalananda went, joyfulness went with him. He had the whole train laughing and joking for 3 days, and he had an infectious belly laugh. On the third day, as we were leaving the train, he put 2 yellow marks on his head that went down like here to show that he was a Vaishnavite, and he explained that he was actually a guru from Coimbatore. And he kept that bit quiet. I just thought he was an extraordinary, happy gentleman, but he was a guru from Coimbatore. And he was what it said on the tin, Doctor Very Much Bliss. He was quite an amazing person, and he was very spontaneous. That's the thing I would say shines forth the most when you meet spiritual masters, is their playfulness, lightness, and spontaneousness. Are they always nice? Well, can you get through life always being nice? You know, some people are obviously being rude and deliberately being awkward or insulting, and sometimes being nice with that kind of person isn't going to get you very far. So they're spontaneous and they'll be whatever they need to be. My first yoga master, Sunil, and he was from Varkala. Now, we'd been talking in a bar, and at the time I thought yoga was a bit girly. I come from East Hull, it's like a working class background, so yoga was for girls. So I was there to study martial arts. Anyway, he got into a confrontation with a very large Russian gentleman, and he pushed Sunil, the yoga master, who was only about my size, about 5'9". And Sunil just picked him up and slammed him on the floor on his back and knocked all the wind out of him. And this Russian guy was stunned and quite afraid. And Sunil looked at me and he said, I bet you don't think I'm much of a yoga teacher now, do you? Now you've seen that. And I said, actually, that's really impressed me. I want to come to your class tomorrow. You know, yoga's for dudes. And obviously in India, at school, they learn wrestling. In fact, India probably invented wrestling and most martial arts. And here he was, this little yoga master, just threw a 6'6" Russian on his back to teach him a lesson. So, spontaneous. And it was the right thing to do. He got his yoga mats back, and then the Russian guy came to his class as well. He got his respect. Another story I can tell you, spontaneous. We met the Dalai Lama, and there was a whole group of us stood waiting around for the Dalai Lama, and we're all talking like, wow, what's he going to say? What pearls of wisdom will he imbue us with? And he wanders straight up to the group. Well, everybody's bowing and attempting to look pious, and he sees through all that nonsense, goes up to a hippie with a beard, yanks his beard and goes, nice beard. And we all just fell about laughing. You know, we weren't expecting that. It was a true spontaneous act. Other people who were perhaps somewhat more curmudgeonly and a bit grumpy, and I've met these as well. My Dharma teacher, you could argue that sometimes he was somewhat curmudgeonly and grumpy, but he did have heart problems and diabetes, and he'd lost a leg to cancer. But despite all of that, you could see that there was still a joyfulness and playfulness and bliss in his eyes, and he could have people rolling about laughing and transform people in a moment. And he had other times when his body was in pain and he was suffering, where he could be somewhat curmudgeonly, short and grumpy. But what do you expect in a teacher? You're going to a person because of their insight, not because you like their personality. The personality is not that important. So we always look for, we have an idea that an enlightened person is going to be a perfect human being who's happy all the time. But no, these people who've had Satori and breakthrough, they experience the ups and downs of life. Just like ordinary people, the difference is things don't tend to stick around. They've kind of got like a Teflon brain. So mud gets thrown at them and then it kind of slides off and they move along in life. So they're still prone to some of the difficulties of life that ordinary people get, but it just sloughs off them. It tends not to wear them down for too long.